Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the identities of 2 victims killed in a boat crash are now known. Want to know if you're eligible for FEMA assistance? We have that answer coming up. President Biden and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are set to meet next week. We have what the families of hostages are saying.
The radar is looking pretty nice and clear out there here in the Crossroads this morning, but zooming just a little bit up north, we got a line of showers and thunderstorms heading our way, and we got lots more rain coming our way next week. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
Victoria West hires a new baseball coach, and Jay Perez. That's in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 18th day of July 2024. Let's get a look at our time. It's 6:30 on our Thursday morning. And Parker, how is it feeling out there?
Well, it's feeling humid and warm. It's another one of those mornings here in summertime here in the Crossroads, but Carolina, we've got some thunderstorms and showers coming our way real soon.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I know, I am too.
No wind though, no wind.
Yeah, no wind. Might be a little bit breezy. Nothing crazy though. We're gonna look at that in just a second, because right now, if you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live here in Victoria. Kind of curious to know if that little cloud that you're seeing right there on your screen is a shower. We'll look at that radar in just a second to see if we can prove that or not. But right now, like we were just saying, 79 degrees, still plenty warm out there for another average summer morning here at the Crossroads. Dew point 77 though, making it plenty humid out there, so you might see a little bit of dew on your windshield, but otherwise, I don't think most of us are going to see any kind of fog out there this morning. But looking at your radar, like I said, pretty clear out there in the Crossroads in terms of rain, except for this one shower that has just developed like maybe 15-20 minutes ago, heading east of Palacios. But really right now it's just a kind of moderate shower. Maybe it might last maybe all of 5 minutes or so. So you don't really need to get ready. Maybe just get the umbrella for a couple minutes, because the big stuff that you will need your umbrella for is all the way north of us by about 100 miles, passing through Rockdale and just passed through the Aggie Land, Bryan College Station, just not too long ago, a few minutes ago. But that's moving pretty slow at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. So with it being about 100 to 125 miles away, I've got it arriving within about 5 to 6 hours. So that would be around noontime, I think, here in Victoria. But I think it might arrive in Hallettsville and Gonzales around maybe 10 to 10:30, maybe even right around that time. But there, if I turn the lightning on, you see there's lots of lightning included in that. So we've got thunderstorms, and not just showers, it's thunderstorms, because there's lightning in there. So you're going to hear some nice thunder. Like I said, I think sometime around 11, it might pass through the Cuero, somewhere in Cuero and also in El Campo as well, but passing through Victoria County around noontime. And then shower activity will start dying off as we go into the later afternoon and evening, with more coming away tomorrow. And like I said, good news is no severe weather is expected. If anything, maybe some gusty winds and some pea-sized hail, but the rain really is going to pick up next week with our temperatures dropping. And we're going to take a look at that later on Sunrise. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Nueces County officials identified 2 people who died after a boat crash in Port Aransas on Saturday after a search that spanned multiple days by different crews. Crews pulled the body of 25-year-old Jared Dale Hunt from the water. Authorities also identified 50-year-old Colin Ocker, who died in the crash. The crash involved a recreational vessel and a commercial tanker at the intersection of Aransas Pass and the Lydia Ann Channel. Lavaca County EMS personnel are back home from Houston. Before they left, they met with the governor. Last week, they sent 2 ambulances to help with overwhelming requests from 911 calls and requests for EMS. They also sent 4 paramedics and 2 ambulances to help with that request, and they were assigned to the Manville area. They screened low acuity patients and treated them to keep the ER from overcrowding. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick named State Senator District 18 Lois Kolkhorst to the Senate Special Committee on Hurricane and Tropical Storm Preparedness, Recovery, and Electricity. Patrick says he appointed this committee to review what happened and establish why certain electric utility companies appear to have been unprepared for Beryl. Patrick says the Texas Senate will work to ensure electric utility companies respond more effectively in the future. If you live in Jackson or Matagorda counties and you receive damage from Hurricane Beryl, you can now apply for assistance from FEMA. LaTanya Hopes, public affairs specialist with FEMA, says that anyone in these areas that received damage from Beryl should apply. Hope says that FEMA is still working the weather events that occurred in April through May into early June. So if you receive damage from one or both of these severe weather events, you still have time to apply for assistance. Even though Jackson and Matagorda counties do not have a physical FEMA office open in those counties, you can still apply by going to disasterassistance.gov or by calling 1-800-621-3362. More details are emerging about the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. It's becoming clearer how potential security oversights and the gunman's research led to the shooting. Officials say Thomas Matthew Crooks' phone had photos of Trump and President Joe Biden. Various sources say the search history showed research on both parties' national conventions, Trump's event schedule, and major depression disorders. A local official says police responded to a call about a suspicious man before Trump took to the stage. Now to more wild summer weather, from flooding and tornadoes to delays on the rails. It seems every corner of the country has now been impacted.
This morning, the aftermath of more weather emergencies across the nation. More than 80 patients evacuated from this Arkansas nursing home. Floodwaters inundating the facility.
There was water probably about 2 foot up in the patient's room.
In New York, downpours flooding roads and lightning illuminating the New York skyline overnight. The cleanup just beginning after a deadly tornado tore through Rome, New York this week. The roof of this church ripped from the rafters. A warplane at a military base toppled.
If you want to know the power of this tornado, take note of the fact that a B-52 bomber was tipped on its side. That weighs 183,000 pounds.
And in Florida, a story of survival.
I was knocked unconscious, and I was trying to figure out what happened.
17-year-old Daniel Sharkey was hit by lightning while doing yard work.
I couldn't move my extremities, and I was trying to scream, but I was unable to scream. And it felt like an eternity, and my ears were ringing, and it felt like it just would just kept going. But it must have only been 30 seconds, a minute.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are expected to meet at the White House next week. The meeting comes 2 days before Netanyahu speaks to Congress. The families of American hostages being held in Gaza have requested a meeting with Netanyahu during his visit. They write, quote, delivering a speech to Congress about Israel's military operation in Gaza without meeting with the families of the American hostages would signal that the fate of the hostages is not the highest priority for Israel's government. Senator Bob Menendez plans to resign from Congress after being convicted on federal corruption charges. It comes after his conviction Tuesday on 16 federal counts related to the use of power of his official position to benefit 3 New Jersey businessmen, as well as the Egyptian and Qatari governments. Menendez has been defiant for months in the face of calls from dozens of Senate Democrats, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin, to resign. The resignation would mark an end to his 3-decade career in Congress. The time is now 6:37 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. How to save while shopping for back-to-school supplies. Plus, today is the final night of the Republican National Convention.
Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your weather and health forecast, followed by your marine forecast. And later on Sunrise, we're going to take another look at all that rain coming our way real soon. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Cuero, and you can see that cloud cover starting to pick up as that line of thunderstorms starts getting a little closer. Got lots of tall clouds that are kind of coming out ahead of that line right now, but right now it's still plenty warm and humid out there in Cuero, sitting at 79. Plenty humid. There was a bird that just went flying across the screen over there. Hope y'all saw that. Still plenty humid at 94% though, so you might see maybe a little dew on your windshield, but otherwise, I don't think we're going to really see too much in terms of fog because it's going to be another warm day, not as warm as it was yesterday. Got up to actually 97, 98 degrees yesterday. I think some got up to 100 yesterday, but that's because we got some rain and thunderstorms coming around noontime, I'm thinking, here at Victoria, up in Gonzales and Hallettsville. Y'all can see it at around, I think, somewhere around 10 to 10:30. But pollen's going to be nice and low today. Moderate air quality, that's not going to be too bad. That's going to be before the rain. And UV index, that's only going to be high because it's going to be mostly cloudy, I think, for today. And not going to be the greatest day to get out in the water. If you do it in the morning, because I think the showers and thunderstorms are going to be around the Gulf sometime in the afternoon today, because the rain, that's going to continue going to the weekend and ramp up next week. And we're going to take a look at that in just a few more moments. And that's it for weather. Now we're going to look at sports with Max.
Well, we have some E-stars shining. Victoria West has a new head man for its baseball team. They didn't have to go too far to find him. Jay Perez did an outstanding job this past season as interim head coach after being thrust into the role at the beginning of the year. He did a great job of leading the charge for the Warriors, leading them to the postseason for the first time in 7 years. Perez is also the strength and conditioning coach for Victoria West football, and he has been at West for a decade. In softball, the Hallettsville A's dominated the all-district honors. They had 3 MVPs, with Macy Yansky being the overall MVP of the district, Carson Yansky taking home offensive MVP honors, and Kaylee Olivares taking home defensive MVP honors. And making the first team list was outfielder and infielder Ellie Amstan, pitcher Grace Halata, and Rebecca Statsky made it as an outfielder. This is Max Williams, 25, News Now Sports.
Thank you, Max. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Tonight is the final night of the Republican National Convention. Former President Trump taking center stage, speaking to the country for the first time since the assassination attempt over the weekend. This as President Biden battles COVID and calls within his own party to drop out of the race.
Former President Trump preparing for his major speech at the Republican National Convention tonight, days after the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. Last night, Trump watching his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. Vance's mother in the crowd, who struggled with addiction during his childhood, now almost 10 years sober.
I love you, Mom.
Vance focusing on the economy.
It's about the auto worker in Michigan, wondering why out-of-touch politicians are destroying their jobs.
And immigration.
When we allow newcomers into our American family, we allow them on our terms.
Vance steering clear of some of his more controversial positions on abortion rights, funding the war in Ukraine, and his eagerness to blame Democrats for Trump's assassination attempt. Overnight, President Biden returning to his vacation home in Delaware after being diagnosed with COVID. Biden apparently needing help getting into the SUV. Moments later, seen with the mask over his face. The calls for Biden to drop out of the race grow louder and stronger. ABC's Jonathan Carl.
One person who has been out there publicly defending Biden told me just a short while ago, Biden is going to see the whole house of cards come down soon. As for that meeting in Rehoboth, Delaware, I am told that this was a one-on-one meeting, just the Senate leader and the president, and that Chuck Schumer forcefully made the case that it would be better for Biden, better for the Democratic Party, and better for the country if he were to bow out of the race.
And a source tells ABC News former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi went to Biden a week ago with concerns over his candidacy. Here in Milwaukee, the Republicans are looking to celebrate tonight with Trump as their nominee. Perry Russum, ABC News, Milwaukee.
The time is now 6:44 on our Thursday morning. Still to come, a new report lists states ranked best and worst for women's health. Okay, time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy 11th birthday to Avery. Happy birthday, baby.
Happy 11th birthday, Avery. And also happy 57th birthday to Wayne. Happy birthday from your labor crew.
Happy birthday to Andy. Happy birthday, Dad/Grandpa. Thanks for all you do. We love you.
Happy birthday, Andy. And Frozen star Kristen Bell with a birthday today. She's turning 44. Happy birthday, Kristen. And another big special birthday to one of our guys in directing. His name's Kiwi, and he's working audio. I think he's working audio today. Happy birthday, buddy. He's turning 27. Happy birthday. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on More, and under Home, you'll see KVU to submit your birthday.
Happy birthday. If you're celebrating one today, we'll be right back.
That's right. Well, good morning, Crossroads. We had a bit of a hot day yesterday, didn't we? In fact, looking at your temperature officially, at the airport, they reported about 97, but that means here in the city, we got up to about 98 degrees because of urban heat island effect. But otherwise, that would happen to be 2 to 3 degrees above our average, but about 10 degrees below our record set in 1932, 106. But our heat index did get up to 108, 109, so it did feel like that record temperature, but that is all going to change. We can throw all that out the window because coming our way today, we've got rain and we've got lots more coming our way next week with some cooler temperatures. You want to see what those are in just a second, because here's the big weather pattern change that's coming our way. Right now, currently for the short term, there is that upper level low that is entering the northeast coast right now as we speak, and it's going to dissipate over the next couple of days, going closer towards the North Pole. But that is our first little front that is actually coming through Texas today, and it's going to stall in central Texas going into tonight and tomorrow, but that's okay because that means there's going to be showers possible along the front edge where there is a lift. But notice this upper level low that just came off of the west coast, just came off of Washington. It's right over Washington right now, entering Canada. That is going to slingshot all the way around that high pressure ridge that's giving the west coast a heat wave and redevelop right in the central plains, giving us here in the Crossroads several rounds and waves of showers and thunder thunderstorms coming our way next week. In fact, they're going to shower chances bump back up to 70%, and that's going to stay like that for pretty much every weekday next week. And with the rain, our highs are in the 80s for end of July. And we're going to take a look at all that more, though, in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. It may still be summer, but the coming school year is just around the corner, meaning it's the season for back-to-school shopping.
Back to school shopping can be expensive, especially if you have more than one child. Experts say the first thing to do before you shop is to take inventory.
Your child may have a perfectly fine backpack that just needs to be run through the wash. They may have school supplies in that backpack that have not been used or in good condition to use again.
Trey Bodge, smart shopping expert at TrueTrade.com, says that applies to clothing also.
Have them try on all their clothes and then make your list from there, because it doesn't make sense to go out and buy a bunch of things that you don't need.
Bodge also says buying clothes secondhand can save money.
I would go to the local Goodwill or Salvation Army consignment stores in your town, see what they have there, and then get what you need beyond that.
Many states have tax-free days when you can buy school supplies without paying state sales taxes.
So what you can do is Google tax-free weekend and it'll pop up in your state. It might be just 2 days. It might be a whole week long. And the rules change from state to state. So it's always good to double check.
Bodge likes the idea of giving kids a gift card so they can buy their own school supplies and clothes and learn about spending and budgeting.
Set them loose in the mall and let them do their own shopping, and they will shop so wisely. They will look for sales. They won't buy more than they need. So let your kids have their own spending money. You will be so happy you did that.
Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
And that leads us to your Vera poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We ask you, have you started your back-to-school shopping yet? Okay, let's take a look. 33% of you say yes, you have, and 67% of you say, 73% of you now say no, you haven't. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. A newly released report lists which states rank the best and worst for women's health. Researchers at the Commonwealth Fund collected data from various sources on healthcare quality, outcomes, and access for women in the U.S. Massachusetts came in the top spot, followed by Vermont, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and New Hampshire. Overall, Mississippi had the lowest score, followed by Texas, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. The analysis included data supported from the CDC. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo made her big splash into the Seine River to prove the water is clean enough to swim in. She was followed by Paris 2024 Olympic President Tony Estanguet and the prefect of the Paris region, Marc Guillaume. Their duties involve the safety and traffic of the Seine River and the opening ceremony boat parade. Members of her city council also made the long-awaited swim. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. The Russian trial of an American journalist resumed this week. The Russian trial of American journalist Evan Gershkovich resumed Thursday behind closed doors. Gershkovich is the first American journalist to be arrested on espionage charges in Russia since the Cold War. His trial began on June 26. Gershkovich was arrested in March 2023 while reporting for the Wall Street Journal. He was later accused of spying for the CIA. Reports say the U.S. Embassy in Russia planned to seek permission to attend today's hearing. There's no word if they were granted access. The VISD Board of Trustees will meet this evening. Here are some items from the agenda. On the agenda is the 2024-2025 budget workshop. They'll also consider a nomination for the Victoria Central Appraisal District Board of Directors, and they'll also discuss the superintendent search. They'll also consider approving several measures from hazardous traffic areas to the optional flexible school day program applications. The meeting's going to start at 6 p.m. at the Victoria ISD Fine Arts Center. Parts of Azalea Street between Village Drive and Loma Vista Avenue will be under construction starting today. The road will remain partially open with workers conducting traffic in the area. It's part of the installation of utilities for the Bon Air Utility Street Reconstruction Project. The city recommends exercising caution in the area and to obey all signs. Governor Abbott sharply attacked President Biden over immigration, telling RNC delegates that the current administration has abdicated its duty to secure the border before falsely crediting former President Donald Trump with eliminating illegal immigration. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. I want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now we have time for a look at our forecast with Parker.
Thanks, Carolina. Yes, it's another pretty sunrise morning out there. You would think that, but we've got some rain coming our way, and actually there's a couple of taller clouds kind of developing out there in Port Lavaca. We'll look at that radar because there's a shower right next to y'all right now as we speak, but still plenty warm and humid out there, sitting at 81 in Port Lavaca, and humidity's at 94%. So some of us might see a very thin layer of fog, but otherwise some of us might see some showers because looking at that radar, the only shower in the Crossroads right now is east of Palacios and also northwest of, really north of Matagorda, going northeast right now, but really just got to cut some moderate rain in there because the big stuff looking up north is coming our way still at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Just a bunch of general thunderstorms and that line of showers and thunderstorms. And like I said, I'm thinking coming our way here in Victoria sometime between 11 to 12, maybe 11:30 to 12:30, somewhere around that time, maybe in Hallettsville around 10 to 11, but to get up to only 90 today with the rain in the area. Other good news is no tropical activity expected for the next couple of weeks. Only rain is forecast next week and highs in the 80s, and that's going to be fantastic, Carolina.
I'm going to be singing in the rain, of course,
yes.
Cautiously, not if there's lightning and thunder out there. It's going to call a lightning break.
Say you hit a high note and then boom.
I would not enjoy that, Parker. All right, well, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Thursday. Remember to follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. And don't forget, check out this hurricane tracking guide.
We have a hurricane tracking guide. You can get them in a few places here in the Crossroads. Definitely want to pick those up before the hurricane season ramps up.
Well, it's already been pretty busy.
Yeah, already. Lots more to go.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. Join us tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.